Hi, welcome back to West Coast Geeks. I'm your host, Joaquin. How we doing, people? You know who's with me,
Hey, what's up, guys?
right? My boy Eric. And for those of you who have missed us in our event, Dungeons and Dragons Players Handbook, Part 5, Fighter, Paladin, and Ranger Reading and Review, we're sorry. Things happen. We haven't been able to get together in a few weeks, but before Eric starts the reading, I was telling him that I actually made a character using the old
Mm,
ways, and we'll get that. Hopefully, we'll get that video next week because what I did was I recorded everything that I rolled and stuff on like cue cards and stuff,
uh,
and so the first way is the Joaquin way. That's the Iron Price, Iron Man way. Start with your strengths, you move all your way down, and you roll whatever
3d6.
and whatever. No, yeah, 3d6. That's it. So
No
then
4.
I at the same time as I rolled that, I also threw in a bonus dice just to see what else I would have gotten. So that's the second way, you know. Roll
Hmm.
46, keep the three highest.
Yeah,
And then the third
that was
way
the most
is
common, I think.
it's like you do the second way, and I call this whatever, man. Because you just take all those stats and then you take the highest and then you just rearrange them to whatever.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like, all right, whatever, man. And so I came up with some interesting results. So stay tuned for that, people. That's gonna be a future video. Got gotta hook people, man. So for those of you who are
Right?
new, thanks for stopping by. And I know I only got a few more seconds before you leave, but we are doing as you can as I said before, reading an in-depth review of the player's handbook. Eric's going to read everything, and we're going to talk about what we read and how the rules applies, how things are different. We've already done the monster manual. We're at the very beginning of classes for the player's handbook. And then we have the Dungeon Master's Guide. We're also going to be doing modules reviews. And if you've seen some of my shorts, you already know what modules are down the pipelines with the giants and the D. So, with that, people, sit back, relax, pause the video, go get you some drink, get your snacks, and listen to Eric, the fighter. Take us away.
All right. The fighter. The principal attribute of the fighter is strength. To become a fighter, a character must have a minimum strength of 9 and a constitution of 7 or greater. A good dexterity rating is also highly desirable. If a fighter has a strength above 15, he or she adds 10% to experience points awarded by the dungeon master. Also, high strength gives the fighter a better chance to hit an opponent and cause an increased amount of damage. Fighters have a 10-sided die, d10, for determination of the hit points per level. No other class of character, save the Paladin and Ranger, subclasses of the fighter, is so strong in this regard. Fighters are the strongest of characters in regards to sheer physical strength, and they are the best at hand to hand combat. Any sort of armor or weapon is usable by fighters. Fighters may be of any alignment, good or evil, lawful or chaotic, or neutral. Although fighters do not have magic spells to use, their armor and weapons can compensate. They have the most advantageous combat table and generally have good saving throw possibilities as well. Fighters can employ many magical items, including potions, protection scrolls, many rings, a few wands, one rod, many other magic items, and all forms of armor, shields, and weapons. When a fighter attains ninth level, the title of Lord, he or she may opt to establish a freehold. This is done by building some type of castle and clearing the area in a radius of 20 to 50 miles around the stronghold. Making it free from all sorts of hostile creatures. Whenever such a freehold is established and clear, the fighter will, number one, automatically attract a body of men at arms led by an above average fighter. These men will serve as mercenaries so long as the fighter maintains his or her freehold and pays the mercenaries or and pays the men at arms. And two, collect a monthly revenue of 7 silver pieces for each and every inhabitant of the freehold due to its trade, tariffs, and taxes. Now, moving on to the fighters table, we have experience points, level, number of 10-sided hit dice for hit points, and level titles. So from 0 to 2000, level 1, 1 hit die, title of veteran. 2001 to 4000, second level, 2 hit die, title warrior. 4001 to 8000, third level, 3 hit die, swordsman. 8001 to 18,000, fourth level, 4 hit die, hero. 18,001 to 35,000, fifth level, 5 hit die, swashbuckler. 35,001 to 70,000, sixth level, 6 hit die, myrmidon. 70,001 to 125,000, seventh level, 7 hit die, champion. 125,001 to 250,000, eighth level, 8 hit die, superhero.
That was weird to put
Which one?
superhero of all
Right?
the like titles. I don't think they even had that term back then.
Right?
Sorry, go ahead.
250,001 to 500,000 XP is ninth level, 9 hit die, and Lord. Now 500,001 to 750,000 is 10th level, plus 3 hit points for no. You stop the hit die at 9, so you just get 3 hit points, and you are a 10th level Lord. And 750,001 to 1,000,000 XP is 11th level, plus 6 hit points, and 11th level Lord. Above that, every 250,000 experience points per level for each additional level beyond the 11th. And fighters gain 3 hit points per level after ninth.
So, what's interesting is, first off, the fighters became almost a default character if you didn't roll into which any other classes that you didn't want to play. Um, while some people would just be like, regardless of what I roll, unless I don't roll a minimum strength of 9 and a constitution of 7, I'm gonna
Mhm.
play a fighter.
Yeah, it's pretty much the easiest class.
Yeah, easiest class, really fun class because you get into the thick of things. When combat gets rolling, you're in the middle of it, and you don't know if your character is going to die because you are the shield. And
Oh,
we're
the
gonna get
meat
into it
shield.
later, but it's the mage and the illusionist and the thief are gonna be hanging back. Like they're not,
Squishy.
they don't have the kind of
They're the
protection
squishies.
that the fighters have, and will start out with when it comes to like AC. And as you can see
Mhm.
right there, I found this cool Dragon magazine cover. I love this art,
I
man.
had that one.
Yeah. And so fighters come in all ranges. They don't have to wear armor. Um, once they hit to, like Eric was saying, once they hit to 10th level or ninth level, they're referred to as a lord. And by ninth level in first edition D&D, um, you usually at that point have gained, or the king or some duke or somebody has bestowed upon your adventuring group a tract of land that you've cleared off from, like, maybe evil bandits or monsters or whatever. Usually the whatever royalty often give those to the players, because if the players maintain that region, then they don't have to spend the region to protect the villagers of the area.
Yeah, but then you're at the beck and call of some lord. You go out into the wilderness, you build yourself a little castle or a little fort or something, and then you clear out the land yourself. You're not beholden to the whim of some sassy fence,
Noble,
nobility.
up until a point, because if when we get to the world of Greyhawk, we'll be showing different parts of the map, but depending on where you would make your stronghold, yes, that would be true. But if you want to make your stronghold where you have a nice choice of resources, like number one, you're gonna need a river because you're gonna need to have goods brought to your establishment, um, trade, those type of things, and most of the rivers are in well populated land. Uh,
the rivers go all over the place. I mean,
yeah.
you would have a few, you know, populated areas, but I think you could find a little piece of river by yourself.
Oh no, there are. When we get to the world of Greyhawk, we're gonna be like, I'm gonna be like taking pictures of individual like small grids of that map because that Darlene map
Right?
is crazy.
Yeah, it
Um,
is. Love it.
so fighters, any cool fighter stories? You've had 2 weeks, Eric.
I was not big into fighters.
Really?
No. I was loving the magic users and the wizards and yeah.
So you never really played a fighter?
Yeah, I'm trying I know. I like tried to think. I had one fighter and that was my DM allowed me to make an ogre character.
A half
He was
ogre or an ogre?
no, an ogre.
Oh,
Yeah, he was Org Malorg.
or my
He
lord.
was yeah, he pretended he was fancy, but he was, dirty and filthy, so he would get fancy clothes made, but then they'd be all like dirty and stained and all that other stuff. But yeah, he was he was fun. I used the GW pirate ogre miniature for him. We used to use a lot of miniatures in our gameplay. But yeah, yeah, Org Malorg. He was a plain old fighter. You know what? I don't ever know because most of my characters. See, the thing with my characters is they often died a lot.
Yeah.
I would get bored of them, and I'd be like, "Eh, I'm not too fond on this character anymore." There used to be a joke that would be a character a week. That's all we ask.
That's how it felt like in certain campaigns. I mean, especially
Yeah.
like,
Oh yeah. People
like
died all
when
the
you're playing
time.
like first through third, I'm trying to
Hmm.
explain to like Michael, the newer member. He's been playing D&D a while, but I was trying to tell him I was like he goes, "Well, let's just start at third because at first level is
No.
boring." And all these
Oh
new players have that mentality. And I'm like,
yeah. They
first
just want the
level
powers.
is going to be the greatest time you're going to have playing D&D
Yep.
because you can die so easily. That's what makes the game so fun and
Yeah.
cool is that your one misstep, bad roll, bad decision make it a new character.
Hmm.
And so, these newer players,
They
5e
always want the
talking to
powers right
you.
away.
Yeah, they don't even want to they don't want to earn nothing. They want like that
Like
video game
I just want
mentality.
to go to third and get my subclass.
They've made it so bad
Yep.
that magical items are now a shop in 5th edition.
Yep.
That was unheard of in earlier
Well,
edition.
back in I mean, no, you kinda
Not
had
to where
that.
you just walked into every town and you're like, "I'm gonna go look for the magic shop so I can go buy stuff."
Depends on the DM. Like I knew that was a big thing. And you know what I noticed that the first time I noticed it was in role playing games for the Commodore 64. Like Pool of Radiance, all those Forgotten Realms, they all had magic shops.
I'm not talking video games.
Well, no, but that's when I saw a lot of DMs doing that.
Oh, really? Because
That
and
kind of
I'm not
instantly.
talking like you have places where they're like herbalists and they sold you scrolls and maybe a minor magical item trinket type of thing. I'm just talking
No,
full blown.
yeah, they were like, this is the magic shop.
Yeah. And
But
we're gonna
I
do a
mean,
separate video on that because
yeah.
I to be honest, I just think it's kind of almost unrealistic in a sense
Well,
of having a shop like that in your world because then everybody, all the commoners would have magic and
no, they couldn't afford it. And I could see like in big cities that having that, but in some backwater fucking village, now.
yeah. So, we're gonna definitely put a pin in that. So, fighters. So, if I played a fighter, um, I usually like to play a dwarf or a halfling, and I remember I had um, this one halfling, and I think I named him Mark. A
Oh my
common name,
god.
Mark the halfling.
Oh my
Mark,
god.
because at the time, I'm heavily influenced by Lord of the Rings, so maybe I called him Mark the Lightfoot or something like that, or Hairy Feet or whatever. But I do remember having a halfling named Mark, and Mark's battle cry was always the Shire, and my DM would be like, "You're not even from the Shire." And I was like,
I
you're like,
remember you told us that story about Mark the Halfling.
"Yeah, Mark the Halfling, man."
Yeah,
It's so
I
Mark,
remember him.
he would get into all kinds of adventures and would
He had the big sword that he
he
dragged in the ground.
yeah, no, that was one Mark. There were that was like Mark the 3rd or 2nd,
Oh,
whatever.
Jesus
Like,
Christ, Joaquin.
seriously, I have plenty of different, like, I would just be like, "Mark," I just thought, because here's the reason why. At the time, I was watching, like, one of my all-time favorite cartoons, Battle of the Planets, G-Force, but reality
Oh,
has got your
G-Force.
man. So, Mark, who I thought was the coolest because he was the leader, I was like, "I'm
No,
gonna name my halfling
no.
Mark," and so when I had a halfling fighter, I'd name him Mark, and he'd have,
Kid.
like, a little, and I shit you not, at one of my characters, he had a, like, eagle's cloak that he had commissioned.
No. Get
Yes.
out. That's it. I'm closing my laptop.
Nope, he did, and, it was like eventually got turned into, it was enchanted, so it was a cloak of, like, flying. So
Not talking to you anymore.
so I would, like, fly around and throw special, like, darts that had, like, various things in them, like acid or, like, spell components and stuff like that,
Oh,
because he
no.
was Mark from G-Force.
Oh, you better knock it off.
Yeah, you didn't see that coming. I was, like,
I
thinking about that.
I do not condone this material.
Yeah,
This
because
is
I
a
was like
disclaimer.
I don't know why I like Mark. I go, "Oh, yeah, now I remember." It's
I like the guy that couldn't talk. He was just all
Yeah, that was God, I can't remember
I
right
can't
now.
remember his name either.
And, he would talk every now and then, but that was his little
Mm, maybe later on.
yeah.
When people are like, why doesn't that guy talk?
So, he would have cool adventures, and I always liked the version of just playing a halfling for a fighter because, um, they like to overcome the odds, and they're, like, jolly characters, lucky go, like, "Hey, whatever it is," and I I usually get them up to, like, 8th or ninth level before they died in some horrible death, or
The blue
heroic
death at
death.
the front lines.
Yeah, it was just one of those things where that's what happened when you played, so,
Yeah,
bet you people watching this video were like, "How did we get into talking Battle of the Planet?" Like, it's
right?
Joaquin.
Freaking G-Force.
G-Force. Alright, so, now that you know I have plenty of different Mark the Halfling.
Oh my god.
Alright.
Alright, on to the Paladin. The Paladin character is a fighter subclass, but unlike normal fighters, all Paladins must begin as lawful good in alignment, and always remain lawful good or absolutely lose all of the special powers which are given to them. They have both fighting abilities and limited spell powers at high level. To become a Paladin, a character must be human, have a strength of not less than 12, minimum 9 intelligence, wisdom of 13 or more, a minimum constitution of 9, and not less than 17 charisma. If a paladin has both strength and wisdom in excess of 15, he or she gains the benefit of adding 10% to the experience points awarded by the dungeon master. Law and good deeds are the meat and drink of paladins. If they ever knowingly perform an act which is chaotic in nature, they must seek a high priest of seventh level or above, uh, a high level cleric of seventh level or above of lawful good alignment, confess their sin, and do penance as prescribed by the cleric. If a paladin should ever knowingly and willingly perform an evil act, he or she loses the status of paladinhood immediately and irrevocably. All benefits are then lost, and no deed or magic can restore the character to paladinhood. He or she is ever after a fighter. The benefits of paladins are: one, detect evil up to 60-foot distance as often as desired. but only when the paladin is concentrating on determining the presence of evil and seeking to detect it in the right general direction. Number two, making all saving throws at +2 on the dice. That was king, man.
Yep.
Number three, this was a good one too. Immunity to all forms of disease.
F your mummy.
Yeah, I don't give a shit about your grot grubs.
No, that wasn't a was it?
Yeah,
Yeah, you're right.
yep. Or the ability to lay on hands either on others or on his or her own person to cure wounds. This heals 2 hit points of damage per level of experience the paladin has attained, but laying on hands can be performed but once per day. The ability to cure disease of any sort, this can be done once per week for each 5 levels of experience the paladin has, i.e., 1 through 5, 1 disease per week, 6 through 10, 2 diseases, 11 through 15, 3 diseases. Number six, the continuing emanation of a protection from evil spell in a 10-foot radius around the paladin. Furthermore,
Wait a minute,
seven,
real quick before you go into that. First, I forgot to switch over. We have to acknowledge this artwork.
yeah, yep,
Uh,
that is probably one of my most favorites and one of the most recognizable early pieces of artwork in the D&D like lore.
yeah. I mean, if you go through the player's handbook, this is the first full page art. This
Hmm.
picture of the paladin, and the artwork, like you said, it's just amazing. Like I think I'm no joke. I've probably drawn this like 25, 30 times at
Yeah,
when I was like in high school, and in elementary. Try to draw, looking at the
yep.
coloring in watercolor.
Yeah, yeah, it's amazing, and I love he's got the full plate. He's slashing demons. He got that cheap little pouch and rope on his belt. He's like, I gotta have my gold.
Yeah, no, and that sword's probably a holy avenger. And the guy's like, I don't care.
Yeah, yeah. He's like, whatever. He's like, I'm gonna chop that demon up. Yeah, I don't know how many people's players' handbooks I saw, and they colored this whole page in, whether it was like pen or colored pencil or whatever. But yeah, this was a very like the most colored page.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because it is
that's a
it's such a
great.
cool art.
Mm-hmm.
And so now we'll pick
To
up with
continue,
furthermore.
furthermore, at third level, the paladin gains the power to affect undead and devils and demons as if he or she were a first level cleric. And this power goes upwards with each level experience the paladin gains. So at fourth level, the effect is that of a seventh or a second level cleric, fifth is third, etc. At fourth level, or number eight, at fourth level or any time thereafter, the paladin may call for his war horse. I love the war horse. This creature is an intelligent, heavy war horse with 5+5 hit die, 5d8 plus 5 hit points, AC 5, speed of a medium war horse. It will magically appear, but only one such animal is available every 10 years. So that if the first one is lost to the paladin, he must wait until the end of the period for another. Number 9, if the paladin has a holy sword, a special magic sword which a referee is aware of, oh, we know about
Yeah,
it, and will explain to you if the need arises. He or she projects a circle of power in 10-foot diameter when the holy sword is unsheathed and held, and this power dispels magic at the level of magic use equal to the experience level of the paladin. F your demonic magical powers.
that was crazy. That ability.
Yeah, yeah, the Holy Avenger, dude. Oh, that was like anybody that runs a paladin, that is their goal. I
Yes,
mean, it should be if you're running the good paladin. And number 10, at ninth level through 20th level of experience, paladins gain the ability to deploy cleric spells. They may never use scrolls of spells, however, except those normally usable by fighters. The following strictures apply to paladins. Number one, they may never retain more than 10 magic items. Remember that? Oh shit, I forgot about that. Remember that? One, and they may never exceed one suit of armor, one shield, four weapons, or a total of any other four magic items. And the weapons include daggers, swords, And such items as magic bows and magic arrows are considered but one weapon. So if you have a bow and 20 plus one arrows, that still only counts as one.
Yeah, and if you had a combination of different arrows, that would still
Yeah,
only count as.
yeah, it would still count as the bow. Number two, they will never retain wealth, keeping only sufficient treasure to support themselves in a modest manner, pay henchmen, men at arms, and servitors, and to construct or maintain a small castle. Your DM will give you details as this is necessary. Excess is given away, as is the tithe. For number three, the tithe. An immediate tithe, 10% of all income, be it treasure, wages, or whatever, must be given to whatever charitable religious institution, not a clerical player character, of lawful good alignment the paladin selects. Yep, I'm going to give Joe Bob, the lawful good cleric over here, 10% of my earnings. Number four, paladins will have henchmen of lawful good alignment and none other. They will associate only with characters and creatures of good alignment. Ooh, yeah. Remember, you can't have some shady characters in
Yeah,
your
we're
groups.
gonna talk about that.
Yeah. Paladins can join a company of adventurers which contain non-evil neutrals only on a single expedition basis, and only if some end which will further the cause of lawful good is purposed. Number five, if possible, paladins will take service or form an alliance with lawful good characters, whether players or not, who are clerics or fighters. Paladins do not attract a body of men at arms to service as do regular fighters. And the Paladin table, again, experience points, level, hit die, and title. 0 to 2750, first level, one hit die, and you're a gallant. 2751 to 5500, level 2, two hit die, and a keeper. 5501 to 12,000, third level, three hit die, protector. 12,001 to 24,000, fourth level, four hit die, defender. 24,001 to 45,000, fifth level, five hit die, warder. 45,001 to 95,000, sixth level, six hit die, guardian. 95,001 to 175,000, seventh level, seven hit die, chevalier. 175,001 to 350,000, eighth level, eight hit die, Justicar. I don't know why that I is there. 350,001 to 700,000, ninth level, nine hit die, Paladin. 700,001 to 1,050,000 is 10th level, plus three hit points, 10th level Paladin. And 1,050,001 to 1,400,000 is 11th level, plus three more hit points, 11th level Paladin. 350,000 XP per level for each additional level above 11th. Paladins gain three hit points per level after ninth. Then you have your spells by usable by class and level for the paladins. The paladin is level 9. You get one first level, 10, two first level, three. Oh, I'm sorry, 11, two first, one second. 12th is two first, two second. 13 is 221, getting your third level spell. 14 is 321. 15, 3, 2, 1, and 1, getting your fourth level. 16 is 3311. 17, 3321. 18, 3331. 19, 3332. And 20th level, which is your maximum spell ability, is three spells per level up to level 4.
Oh, ever play a paladin?
I did.
Really?
My first character was a paladin.
You rolled that high?
Dude. So yeah, I when my uncles first taught me to play, my uncle Mark had a ranger, and my uncle Javi had a paladin. And I remember my uncle Javi was, he was the one really teaching me how to do the characters. That I was like, ooh, I want to roll a paladin. He's like, well, we'll see what you roll. And I rolled, dude. I used to be known for rolling stupid ability scores, dude. Nobody ever believed me, and I would be like, I'll roll a character right now, don't care. But yeah, I rolled paladin. His name was Norcius because I wanted to be like a little, little Viking kind of guy. But yeah, he was my first character and my first one of the first things I remember fighting. Now I'm sure my uncle toned it down for me, but it was like a Cerebus type dog, like a two-headed dog.
I was gonna say, was it Tiamat?
Right? It was TM. Well, shit. That she was so weak in first edition, I probably could have killed her as a first level paladin, or at least made her run away if I rolled really good.
So
But
you
yeah,
a
Norseus.
Sybaris? You fought one of those?
Yeah.
Dang,
Well, I mean, he
serious.
was a two-headed dog. I wasn't sure he. I'm sure he wasn't the Cerberus,
Yeah, Cerberus.
but yeah, he was. He that was. I remember that being one of the first things I killed. Paladin was my first character, and I had him for a while. Like I ended up finding because I played with my uncles taught me how to play that. We had a few sessions and that, and like I really didn't start picking like I'd only play when we went over there. And that's the only time I could really play until my friends in school started playing, and I started picking it up again in Jordan, which was junior high.
Yeah.
And I remember it was me, my friend Jason, and these two other guys, Lejean and Eamon. And I don't know whatever happened to Eamon, but yeah, Lejean, I knew all through high school and everything. But yeah, they had like they played crazy fucking like they were like Eamon had like this undead ninja dude. I was like, what? Like they were super high level. Yeah, I'm like, what is going on? It's just crazy. But yeah, and we started playing with those guys. And then my friend of ours, actually, he was a friend of Jason's first, lived in his apartment complex. This guy Mark, and he was playing. Then we kind of started playing with that group was Jason, Mark, Bobby, sometimes Jason's brother David, and me, and sometimes this guy Ben that we knew. That was kind of that's where we did a lot of gaming, and then when we started going like the Last Grenadier and all that stuff. But anyways, I digress. Yeah, Paladin was my first character. I really love the Paladin. It's one of my favorite classes. I just very rarely run one for two reasons. One, they seemed everybody wants to run one now, some form of a paladin, and so you're always running into a paladin of some type, and I'm like, ah. And the other one that I have more of a problem with, I don't know if it's more of a problem, but in fifth edition they may well, and I don't know because I didn't play third or fourth, but the paladin now can be pretty much of any alignment, like, and it doesn't even have to be good. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, that's not a paladin to me, man.
Yeah, I had that problem too. And then a player of
Yeah.
mine, he was like, "Look, the paladin's supposed to represent
Mm-hmm.
their god. So they're evil gods, so they're evil paladins." I'm like, there can
Just
be
make it
evil
a different class.
champions, but they're not paladins.
Yeah. Yeah, make it a different class, dude. Don't you want all the abilities of a paladin, you have to suffer the strictures.
Yeah.
And they
And
got rid of that.
so um I think they also took away in 5th edition. I can't recall if they can cure disease like they could at early.
I know they're immune to it. I don't think they can cure it.
Yeah. So, that was a cool power.
Mm.
But you're right. The restrictions on a paladin and to play them properly
Yep. You had to
is
be lawful good. You couldn't be fucking around with neutral evil thieves in your group.
yeah, that was the big thing because as DMs, you'd walk around and when you found out another person was a DM, you almost like critiqued each other in a sense. You're like, "Oh, well, what's in your group?"
Mm-hmm.
And I remember in junior high, guy was telling me about his um about his group, and I was with another player who was a DM. He was talking about the paladin and how they had a thief, and the paladin was always chastising the because the thief was stealing.
Yeah, he'd be like,
Yeah, and both
chop
of us
his
just
head
kind of
off.
stopped, and we're just like, they're not supposed to be in the same group,
Yeah.
and um, like, no, it's okay because he doesn't see it. I go, but he does know he's a thief, right? And he's
Yeah.
like,
If he's chastising him, he knows what's going on.
yeah, and so and Gary Gygax at the very beginning would also, at conventions, chastise other DMs because you'd go around and look at other people's character sheets. This is like a rumor I had heard a long time ago and stuff. Like he didn't do it all the
Mm.
time, but apparently one time he looked at a player character sheet and um this paladin had all this stuff on him, and when they asked him about it, he goes, um, "Well, I'm holding it," and he's like, "No," and so he was so so most people did not. I don't even I can't even say most because I don't know. I didn't take a survey or anything, but it was hard to truly play a paladin back in the days. I remember a few times. I remember the first time I ever rolled high enough to be paladin. My DF was so excited. He's like wow. I was like, what? Like you can be a paladin. I was like, what? And I was like, all this time I've been waiting to play a paladin, and I named him
Mhm.
Lancelot. All my paladins were Callahan,
Right?
Arthur, and he died at third level, dude. I don't even remember any
Oh,
cool
that's the
stories
worst,
about the
dude, because 'cause
first.
you're not gonna roll again.
Yeah, and it was just one of those things where, and I don't even know, like I can't even remember what adventure we were playing or anything.
How he died or
He just
nothing.
all I remember is that he died at third level, and I was sad. Like legitimately, I was just sad.
Yeah, you didn't roll that good all the time.
Yeah, and I think I ended up rolling on like afterwards, and I was like a mage,
You're like,
and
"Man."
yeah, yeah, I was like,
Gotta go
man,
to stupid magic user.
yeah. So we hired another fighter, support us, and because we didn't at the time we didn't have. I don't think I had a magic user in the group. Like I think it was like a cleric. One
Mhm.
one person played a ranger, and I was a paladin, and cannot remember what the other player played, but it was not a magic user. I remember our DM during character creation. He was like, "Well, why don't you go? One of you guys play a spellcaster?" And we're like, "Oh, we, oh,
No clerics?
yeah, we had a cleric. We had a cleric, a ranger, or the paladin, and then we had something else, and I can't remember what it was. But all I know is I
Huh.
died at third, and then when I re-rolled my character and my scores were okay, but I excelled at intelligence, my DM just looked at me. He's like, "You know what you could play?" And I go, "Gandalf."
Fine.
Fine.
Stupid wizard.
Uh,
Me.
an elf wizard. I hope you're happy. and so I, a paladin is just it's just like I don't know because like you and I are like old school. It has a different meaning to us than people who
Yeah.
play paladins today. Like it's just
Yeah, it's
another
just everybody
class.
wants to run one, and they're just like nobody wants to be. And that I think that's it. What it is it's a common theme I see with D&D now. Nobody wants to be good anymore.
No, that is that
It's just because it's easier to be like neutral or evil or because then you could just
do whatever you want.
yeah. And a lot of people don't like, oh, alignments don't mean any. Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
That's a moral compass of your character.
Yeah,
You
and
know,
that
it's
we
just
will be talking about that more because we will be getting to alignment in the player's handbook, and I think we also touch up again on the
yeah, I
Dungeon
think it's an
Master's
important
Guide.
thing for a character, and a lot of people nowadays don't. And they want to, and I'm not gonna say nothing because I can be a murder hobo just like everybody else. But if I'm running a good character and the rest of the party is, chaotic neutral, neutral evil, and you're just like, ah. Which is one of the reasons why in your Ravenloft campaign, I was gonna run a lawful good cleric or paladin.
Yeah,
Like that's what I was gonna do. But then I heard, people might be chaotic neutral. Thurm was going to be neutral evil, and I was like, no, that's just
yeah.
not going to go
As
well.
soon as
Because
remember,
I'll start slaying bitches.
yeah, because it was like I go okay. I told him, hey, we're gonna do Ravenloft, so everybody's all hyped, and we're still in the middle of the campaign, and I know we're stuck more like just talking about alignment, but here's the thing about the paladin. That's what made the paladin so special because the paladin's supposed
Yeah,
to be righteous. The
yeah,
paladin is the definition of playing a good character, what it's meant to be a hero, and
hmm
not do something for greed or what's in it for me. but to just go and save the village because it's the right thing to do. Go
Yeah.
fight, those warlords or a dragon because they're endangering lives. That's a paladin. And
Yep.
so, before we move on to the ranger, that's the problem with like us old school DMs with new paladins is you don't have that restriction anymore. And so it's lost for us, it's lost its magic.
Yeah.
And
That's and like I said, that's the main reason one of the main reasons I don't run them anymore because you see them all the time and they're a dime a dozen and they can do whatever they want and they're not beholden to any code of ethics or anything. There's no punishment for it.
yeah, and
Yeah, this one you fuck up. Guess what? You're a fighter forever.
yeah, and when you were saying that, I was like, it's
Forever.
also up to the DM too, depending on what it was done, and you gotta do.
No, no, it's forever.
Eric would be like, no.
Irrevocably. Let me read that once again for you, Joaquin, in case you forgot. Where's this shit? I just read it. Oh, you're lucky I can't find it right
It's
now.
right here where it goes.
Oh, right here. All benefits are then lost, and no deed or magic can restore the character to paladinhood. He or she is ever after a fighter. And then I wrote in right after that, forever. There you go, son of a bitch.
Yeah, so that's a paladin. If anybody has a cool paladin story to tell, I can't really think of anything offhand. Like I've had some cool players play a paladin,
I
and
really want to run a paladin. Like if I ever get the chance, and I'd really like to run one. But like I said, it's all dependent on the party. I can't run a lawful good paladin if there's going to be some fucking
yeah, murder
evil
hobos
adjacent
and
jackasses.
yeah. So there you go. All
All
right,
right,
so let's give the
on to the
ranger
ranger.
respect.
Ready?
Eddie, look at that.
There it is. That little thief.
I know. Could be a ranger, could be a thief.
Hmm. Rangers are a subclass of fighter who are adept at woodcraft, tracking, scouting, and infiltration and spying. All rangers must be of good alignment, although they can be lawful, chaotic, or neutral otherwise. A ranger must have a strength of not less than 13, intelligence of not less than 13, wisdom of not less than 14, and a 14 or greater constitution. It's even harder to be a ranger, man.
Yeah.
If the ranger has ability scores of greater than 15 in strength, intelligence, and wisdom, he or she gains the benefit of adding 10% experience points awarded by the referee. Unlike other fighter types, Rangers have 8-sided hit dice, but at first level they get 2 rather than 1. That was always cool, man.
They really.
Because a lot of times DMs were like, "Oh yeah, max hit points at first level." It should also be noted that Rangers get 11 hit dice rather than the 9 of other fighter types. In addition to considerable prowess as fighters, Rangers have druidic and magical spell capabilities when they attain high level. Thus, they are very formidable opponents. They have other abilities and benefits as well. 1. When fighting humanoid type creatures of the giant class listed hereafter, Rangers add 1 hit point for each level of experience they've attained to the points of damage scored when they hit in melee combat. Giant class creatures are bugbears, ettins, giants, gnolls, goblins, hobgoblins, kobolds, ogres, ogre magi, orcs, and trolls. Example: a 5th level ranger hits a bugbear in melee combat. Damage is done to the opponent will be according to the ranger's weapon type, modified by strength, and +5 for his or her experience level, because the opponent is a bugbear, a giant class humanoid. I forgot about that shit.
Oh, I love that.
The plus level, plus damage for your level. Woo, that sucks. Number 2, Ranger Surprise. It sounds like a food dish that they cooked at night during the camp time. This is Ranger Surprise. Okay, that was a bad joke. They surprise opponents 50% of the time, 1 through 3 on a d6, and are themselves surprised only on a 1 on a
Now
d6.
look at that, 16 and 2/3. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, that's how I skipped over that completely. What is this nonsense? I just saw a bunch of fractions and I'm like, what the hell? Tracking is possible both outdoors and underground in dungeons and like settings. A. Underground, the ranger must have observed the creature to be tracked within 3 turns, 30 minutes of the commencement of tracking, and the ranger must begin tracking at a place where the creature was observed. Creature's actions as opposed to chance to track. Going along normal passenger rooms, 65%. Passes through normal doors or use stairs, 55%. Goes through a trap door, 45%. Goes up or down a chimney or through a concealed door, 35%. And if they pass through a secret door, it drops to 25%. Outdoors, there's a base 90% chance of a ranger being able to follow a creature, modified as follows. For each creature above one in the party being tracked, plus 2%. For every 24 hours which has elapsed between making the track and tracking, minus 10%. And for each hour of precipitation, you subtract 25%. At 8th level, Rangers gain limited druidic spell ability, and additional spells are added through 17th level. At 9th level, Rangers gain limited magic user ability, as with druidic spell ability. Jesus! I forgot how freaking crazy Rangers were, man. Rangers cannot read druidic or magic user spells from scrolls in any event. At 10th level, Ranger Lord, Rangers are able to employ all non written magic items which pertain to clairaudience, clairvoyance, ESP, and telepathy. Why? Why why does that fit with that character? That seems like a random ability they gave them, as if they weren't powerful enough. And also at 10th level, each ranger attracts a body of 2 to 24 followers. Note these henchmen, once lost, can never be replaced, although mercenaries can be hired, of course. These followers are determined by the DM, who then informs the ranger. So basically, they get their little band of merry men. Let's see, the following restrictions. Here we go. Restrictions apply to rangers. Any change to non good alignment immediately strips the ranger of all benefits. Listen up, Joaquin. And the character becomes a fighter with 8-sided hit dice ever after and can never regain ranger status forever.
Unless the
Rangers
DM
may
says so.
forever, never, ever after. These are permanent words of permanence, Joaquin. Rangers may not hire men at arms, servants, aides, or henchmen until they attain 8th level or higher. No more than 3 rangers may ever operate together at any time. Ooh, I forgot about that. So you can't have more than 3 rangers. You can't have a party full of rangers.
Nope.
Get off, suckers, we're loners.
They're a Sith, man. There's always two.
Ah, you're stupid. There's Sith. There can be only 3. Rangers may only own those goods and treasures which they can carry on their person and or place upon their mount. All excess must be donated to a worthy communal or institutional cause, but never to another player character. See the paladin above. Although rangers do not attract a body of mercenaries to serve them when and if rangers construct strongholds, they conform to the fighter class in other respects. Okay, so I was under I don't know where I got this idea, but I thought Rangers had an armor restriction. Like they couldn't wear plate armor or something like that. I don't know
um,
where I got that. Maybe that was later on in second edition or some shit.
maybe.
But
Now I
yeah,
gotta look
I
at that
thought
while
maybe
you're
I'm
finishing
incorrect.
up the titles and all that. I'll look that up right now.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to the Rangers table. Again, XP, experience level, 8-sided hit die for hit points, and level title. So 0 to 2250 XP, level 1, 2 hit die for the Ranger, for the Runner, I'm sorry. 2251 to 4500, level 2, 3 hit die, Strider. 4501 to 10,000, third level, 4 hit die, Scout. 10,001 to 20,000, level 4, 5 hit die, Courser. 20,001 to 40,000, fifth level, 6 hit die, Tracker. 40,001 to 90,000, level 6, 7 hit die, Guide. 90,001 to 150,000, level 7, 8-sided hit die, or 8 hit die, Pathfinder. 150,001 to 225,000, level 8, 9 hit die, Ranger. 225,001 to 325,000, level 9, 10 hit die, Ranger Knight. And 325,001, 650,000, level 10, 11 hit die, Ranger Lord. 650,001 to 975,000, level 11, hit dies plus 2 hit points with the 11th level Ranger Lord. And 975,001 to 1,300,000, level 12, plus 2 more hit points, 12th level Ranger Lord. 325,000 experience points per level for each additional level above the 12th. Rangers gain 2 hit points per level after 10th. And for their spells usable by class and level. So here we go. So 8th level, 1 Druidic first level spell. 9th level, 1 Druidic first level spell, 1 first level magic user spell. 10th level, 2 Druid first level spells, 1 first level magic user spell. 11th level, 2 first level Druid spells, 2 first level magic user spell. Level 12, 2 first level Druid, 1 second, 2 first level mage, magic user. 13th level, 2 first level Druid, 1 second level Druid, 2 first level magic user, 1 second level magic user. 14th level, 2 and 2 for the Druid, 2 and 1 for the magic user. 15th level, 2 and 2 for the Druid, 2 and 2 for magic user spells. 16th level, 2, 2 and 1 for the Druid, 2 and 2 for the magic user. And 17th, which is her maximum spell ability, 2 first level, 2 second, 2 third for the Druid, and 2 first level, 2 second level for magic user spells. The Ranger must check as to which spells he or she can learn, just as if he or she were magic users. Now, down here at the bottom, we have the cumulative, all three fighter, paladin, ranger fighter level attacks per round chart. So the level fighters and paladins first through sixth level are 1 attack per round. The rangers first through seventh level is 1 attack per round. Fighters and paladins level 7 through 12, and rangers level 8 through 14 attack 3 times every 2 rounds. So basically, you're
Two
one
one.
attack, yeah, 1 attack, 1 2 attack, 1 attack, 2 attack. And then fighter and paladins 13th level and higher, and rangers 15th level or higher are 2 attacks per round. So you didn't get that shit. Now they give it to it like what, 5th level?
Yeah.
Yeah, this one you don't get it until you're way, way up there. This excludes or let's see, note. We have a note here. This excludes melee combat with monsters of less than 1 hit die and non-exceptional humans and semi-humans, i.e., all creatures with less than 1 8-sided hit die. All of these creatures entitle a fighter to attack once for each of hers or her experience level. I see. Okay.
Combat.
Yeah. Yeah. That's gonna be later.
Ever play a ranger?
Uh, Trying to think. I don't think so. I didn't.
Surprised on that.
Yeah, I wasn't big. If I was, which is funny because I used to love running elves.
Yeah.
But yeah, I never. No, I had a friend. My friend Mark ran a total like Aragorn ripoff. He even called him Strider. He was a
Yeah.
ranger.
Like everybody did. I did.
Yeah,
Aragon, or his name would be some Strider.
but yeah, I never ran a ranger. Not that I remember. I shouldn't say never, but he wasn't a standout character of mine.
So if you look at the abilities, so in third edition, it might even been second. I want to say got a first. You have type of creatures, and they kind of grouped them in. But I
Yeah.
like this way of, giant subclass, which are bugbears, Eden, giants, gnolls, goblin, hobgoblins, kobold.
Is a goblin and a kobold really a giant subclass? I don't. I think they're
I would
those
say
actually
I
almost
would
be
have
they're more
reworded it
goblinoid.
as humanoid and giant class. That's how I
Yeah,
would.
or goblinoid.
Yeah, goblinoids and giant class because that's
Yeah,
who the ranger has experience fighting in the woods all the time.
yeah.
And so my favorite ranger character that like lived for a long time was um Willow. I named him Willow.
Oh, you
I
did
rolled
not.
pretty good. Not enough to be a paladin, but good enough to be a ranger.
Dude, it's harder to be a ranger. I mean, that paladin, the people think that just because you need a 17 charisma, it makes it harder. You need more
Well,
consistent
it,
high levels,
it makes
high
it
rolls.
harder if that's the last roll you have to make.
Yeah, true. You have to make that one specific roll
On
really high.
Yeah. So I would on average I would get that extra 10%. And so I had Willow the Ranger and we started off in the playing Keep on the Borderland and he kicked butt. There was, there were goblins, there were orcs,
See
there
a
were
halfling.
hobgoblins, there were gnolls, and I just ran through that. And I think I want to say I started out with like 12 hit points.
Oof. Oh,
Yeah,
you guys had to roll?
yeah, because you get the two
Yeesh.
eight-sided dice. Boom.
Yeah.
And I'll say I started off with like 12 hit points. Um, I had bought like chainmail. I don't think I started out with chain. I did. But I know I had chainmail, I had a long sword, I had a short bow because I couldn't afford the long bow, and my other equipment that we'll get into when I show you what I rolled up. And so this Willow the Ranger, goes through to keep on the borderland, becomes really powerful and protector of the forest. Yeah. So
Oh.
after I had left, I was like protector of the forest. That was the title they had given me. Then I left.
Nice.
and,
Like, nah, bitches, deuces.
yeah, and then from there, um, we had segued into on the A1, the Slave Lords adventure.
Hey, Lord, Scourge of the Slave Lords.
Yeah. Well, no, back then you didn't have that big adventure. So
Oh, that's what they call it. Yeah.
that's when they brought it all together. Now I'm looking
Oh,
through
what
my
was it
modules real
called?
quick. It was Slave Pits of the Undercity.
That's right, because that's when they first introduced the Underdark.
Yeah, and so
Yeah.
no, that's not the first time they introduced Dark. The first time
Well,
they introduced the Underdark was D1.
I thought that one came after.
Oh, dude, you gotta watch my videos. You can learn these things.
Man, no, I just got caught.
The shorter video, dude. I just talked about it.
I know, and I like started it 3 times, but I always do it after I take my the fuck is that medicine called to make you go to sleep?
I forbid you to take that medicine
Melatonin.
until you after you watch that video.
You know what? After this, I'll go watch that video. After we're done here, I'll go
Yeah,
watch that video.
and leave a comment so I can verify.
You verify.
So he goes through the slave pits. He goes against the slave lords. For those of you who have not played it, spoiler: at the end of A4, we're gonna get to that to the review.
No, I
Um,
would have never played that game.
yeah, it's pretty cool. You end up in a volcano, and this is your first like D&D like survivor mode, and so you're stripped of everything. But my ranger still had all his
Oh,
bonuses and tracking, and so I
yep.
was able to help guide the party out of the volcano and make a makeshift club. So I was jacking everything up that we found in there. Then the ultimate. If you play a ranger and you're now mid level, like seventh, eighth, and you're rolling into G1, setting of the Hill Giant sheet,
You're gonna
you are
fuck
in
people
heaven, dude, because your bonuses are just stacking on
through the
top.
roof.
Yeah, by then I had a +3 sword, and we're
Woo.
just like, we're gonna get into it when we do the review, but the G's are supposed to be like stealth. You get into combat, but you're really supposed to be getting information because there's a lot of giants, and you're not supposed to just make it a hack and slash, but that's what it ended up being.
That's what
Because,
most games usually end up being.
yeah, well, a lot of parties went in there like way higher than they should have to make it challenging. So,
Mhm.
you have like a wizard and somebody else, and they're casting fireballs, and he casts fireball, and there goes a lot of giants.
Right.
That type of routine. But Willow just was like he would scout through the steading, and I had a thief character with me, and the wizard would like cast invisibility on us, and we both had a backup potion of invisibility to start off with, and we scouted out the place, and any opportunity that I found a giant slipping in the hallways or somewhere, we'd kill him, and then um, take his body and throw him in the nearest room, and because they're like having a party, so. Then we get into G2 against the Frost Giants, and then it was just all out because by then I had assembled the Hammer of Thunderbolts. I already had,
Jesus,
yeah,
Hammer of Thunderbolts,
yeah. So
man.
by G2, I had assembled, I already had Gauntlets of Ogre Power,
What
and
level were you?
I was like going in, I want to say we were going in, I was like eighth or ninth going into there.
Man.
So, by the end of G1, I had the Hammer of Thunderbolts, the last piece. And then I also got a girdle of giant strength going in.
Yep.
So I just loved that. We went through all that, and then the went through the D's, and it was okay because I was still fighting the underground and the Drow, and we were stealthy, and we made it all the way through, and we ended up fighting Loth. Like I fought my characters have fought Loth many of times, but because it's just been that campaign that you run through.
Mhm.
And this was the group that we were able to kill her. Like we killed her and sent her off where she was banished for a long time, and
No,
that's how we ended
unacceptable.
our campaign.
I
And
disbelieve.
you know, it was just like you don't know how cool it is to go through that series.
You know,
And
I'm trying to think because that's the thing. Like, I didn't play a lot of modules,
yeah,
but I never really like we a lot of stuff we did was homebrew, so I never really like played through a whole module.
yeah,
You know what I mean? A whole campaign. Trying to think, I don't think I ever had. Not even Temple Elemental Evil, which was my favorite.
yeah. It's just one of those things where um, a lot of people did play modules, and then after you had a few under your belt, you would just go off and create your own things. Then other people just took the game and started running with homebrew right away.
Yeah,
Oh, and the Ranger is just so brutal in first edition.
yeah,
Like
man,
once you
they're
started getting
gnarly.
like magic rings, magic armor, magic sword, you outpaced
Mhm.
the fighter. Yeah, the fighter
Yeah.
could get an extra attack before you, but it didn't matter, because the fighter didn't get those type of bonuses. Certain,
Now when you got the motherfucking Hammer of Thunderbolts,
yeah, that was cool, dude. Oh, I
that's
love that,
gnarly.
dude. I mean, I'll never forget Willow. And then,
Willow.
um, I didn't get the kill blow on Loth. I never did. Maybe I did once, but I know it was Willow didn't. I was upset.
You were
I did get
sad.
to hit her in the chest really hard because he didn't have crits back then. But I did roll a 20 one time when I hit her,
Nice.
and and we were all like, "Yeah!" So and I rolled like close to max damage. I think she pointed like finger of death at me afterwards and almost killed me.
Ooh.
I think I barely made my save by one. It's like,
You're like, oh, Willow's gonna die.
yeah.
My Hammer of Thunderbolts.
And so if you played back in first edition, most rangers were either human or halfling, and that was it, unless your DM allowed you to play a ranger. Cool.
Not elves? No elves?
No, look at the restrictions.
That's right. I forgot about. Well, let's see.
Because I go, did I ever play anything besides a half elf or a human? I couldn't remember. And then I look at the chart, I'm like, no. Okay, that makes sense. I couldn't
I
play one.
can't find it. Where is it? Is it in the racial?
Page 13.
Oh, the classes. That's right.
Yeah. And so to play like it was really special to play certain classes like a ranger, a
Yeah.
paladin, you know. We'll get into discussion whether monks were as weak or like to make them out to be. We'll save that for
Mm,
monks.
in the
So
beginning.
yeah. Um but the Rangers are a fun class to play. They are a powerhouse at first level because of the extra hit points and
Nope.
bonus damage. And
Yeah.
the ability to track was amazing in certain campaigns.
Yeah. If you were outside, if you were in the city all the time, you were kind of like, eh,
Like this is sucks.
this
Even.
stupid. Let's go out into the woods and party naked.
All
Party naked with the druids.
right, so now we're at the wrap up, part 6. Magic user, the magic user, illusion.
Oh yeah.
Um, so hopefully Eric will have some cool magic user stories. Mine
Oh,
are
my
more
favorite
generic, where
character of
I'm
all,
just
my favorite and most longest character of all time is a magic user.
ooh. So we got the fighting class out of the way. Um, these are the fundamental classes that have stayed with us. Like, except for the assassin, all these classes, first edition, and races have made it all the way through to fifth.
Yep. And well, the assassin becomes a subclass.
Yeah, and the assassin they just got rid of because they're like anybody can be an assassin.
Yeah.
And all those charts, like the assassin really deserved to be more of a NPC.
Again, it was a steering away from evil.
Yeah. So
Uh,
when we get to the assassin, you'll see with all these charts and all this stuff like that. And it was really just meant to be an NPC.
yeah.
The the fighter, even though they're bland, that's your vanilla right there. But you gotta
It
remember,
left a
people,
lot
vanilla
open
tastes
to the
good.
imagination.
I know when you first taste vanilla, you're like, yeah, this is good. And what else
Good.
you got? But fighters, backbones of any party should always have a fighting class. Always have
Always.
somebody who can heal, and usually a spellcaster.
Which
And
is
then
which is what we did not have when we. Oh no, that's right, because Thurm was a paladin. That's right.
yeah, yeah, you guys don't really have a healer. Like right now, we're
No,
in
my druid
Ravenloft.
is not much of a healer. If I had to do it over, I probably would have run something a little bit different. He's. I'm still looking for my niche in that group, but he's not. I don't think Spore Druid was the wisest of choices. So that was that, but we'll see how it goes. We'll
Yeah,
see
it's
see what
different. I do
happens.
like the composition. We have a necromancer. Greg is playing that. Um,
He's a warlock.
yeah, but he's gonna be a necromancer warlock.
Oh,
Uh,
he's gonna go into
yeah, it's
magic
so
user.
yeah. So you're a
Mm,
druid. His
yeah.
character is Ithaquatl, lizard druid. Um, got around my rule about shaping into dinosaurs because I've always been, well, if you haven't seen a dinosaur, then you don't know what it is. And Eric's
I'm from
like,
so
I'm from the jungles. I
I'm from the jungle of dinosaurs.
was like, all
Oh,
right.
but
Uh,
yeah, but on the other hand, I've never seen a fucking bear.
yeah, whatever.
I mean, I guess there is bears there,
Yeah,
but
there's
there's other animals
bears,
that I would not have seen.
jungle bears.
Jungle bears.
Jungle bears. There's
What is he, Baloo from fucking Jungle Book?
yeah, exactly. So that's it, people.
Bare necessities.
We're, we're gonna end it on that. Bare necessities. We hope
And
you
on
would.
that note,
Yeah, we hope you enjoyed this video. On average, these are gonna be over an hour. We had 3 classes to talk about, and you're gonna get a review, and you're gonna get stories, and and talking about the classes, and what we
And
think
me
of
for all
them.
my years of playing D&D, not playing any classes.
Yeah. So um, this was I love reading the player's handbook. When I was a kid, this was just something that
Yeah,
just if
I
I
could
went on,
read this over and over and
yeah,
over again,
yeah,
and
that and
just meet
like
characters and
Monster
yeah.
Manual. So these are all cool books that usually got a lot of love and wear and tear.
Mhm.
All right,
Yeah,
with that,
mine's a hot
people,
mess.
um, we still got to finish off Dragonlance because we committed, and then that whole OGL debacle. But
Yeah,
now we're gonna be back on track, and because I do want to get back into Dragonlance a little bit because they have some really
yeah,
interesting characters that Eric's gonna be doing a lot of research, and we still gotta do Lord Soth.
yeah, we gotta
Those,
do Lord Soft
yeah,
and
Soth.
complete with his song.
Yep, and so that one's gonna be a fun one because I'm actually gonna be drawing him as Eric is talking about him.
Okay.
So we got that. All right, people. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did and you made it this far, we deserve a like button. Hit the like button, leave a comment below, and subscribe to help the channel grow. Final words, Eric.
I can't wait to get the magic users.
Go. Catch you later,
Oh,
people.
yeah. Take it easy, guys.